Hello there everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Games and today I want to talk about my theory that Nintendo is still hiding something from us when it comes to their release lineup in 2024. Let's talk about it. Alright, so yes, you may think I'm crazy that, we're almost in September and I'm still talking about a potential game announcement coming from Nintendo this year, but following that partner showcase, I'm actually more confident now than I was before, so we'll talk about why. And yes, this is kind of conspiracy brained. If you're not here for the conspiracy theories, maybe don't watch this video, but I want to talk about why I think this could be the case. Now, first things first, I'll say this, the partner showcase was good. I actually really enjoyed it, but it actually had a first-party Nintendo game announcement in it. I think most people thought Nintendo was done for the year, but they did announce a Nintendo-published game coming later this year, with Fitness Boxing 3 coming on December 5th. Which immediately had me thinking about my video I made a few weeks ago talking about the potential of a game releasing on November 21st. Now, to kind of catch you up here, basically the idea is Nintendo has always released a game the week before Black Friday. They always have. For the past 24 years, that's what I checked. I checked all the way back to the year 2000. Nintendo has had a major first-party game releasing in that spot, the week before Black Friday, the week before Thanksgiving. They have never missed it. November 17th, 2023, Super Mario RPG. November 18th, 2022, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. November 19th, the year before that, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. November 20th, the year before that, Hyrule Warriors. November 15th, 2019, Sword and Shield. November 16th, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. November 17th, 2017, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. November 18th, 2016, Pokemon Sun and Moon. November 20th, 2015, Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. November 21st, Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire and Super Smash Bros. Wii U released on the same day in 2014, and the list continues to go on. And I just find it very peculiar that they have a game releasing in November, Mario and Luigi Brothership, but that's releasing on November 7th. And now, it's even weirder because we have Fitness Boxing releasing on December 5th. It is spaced perfectly that if they were to have another game releasing this year, the 21st is right smack dab in the middle of those release dates. Nintendo traditionally, during their holiday periods, when they have a lot of releases, they try to do every other week. They don't release games back-to-back weeks, but it's very rare that you'll see a game release one week and then another game release immediately the following week. Usually there's a week gap where nothing happens in between. And we're seeing that this year where, it's not a packed lineup, but we're having Echoes of Wisdom on September 26th, then Super Mario Party Jamboree on the 17th, but then really starting with Mario and Luigi Brothership now on the 7th, then potentially this game releasing on the 21st, and now December 5th with Fitness Boxing. That just looks a little suspicious to me. But the major question is, what would this game even be? Now that we have that partner showcase, I think it's safe to say that it's probably not a game that would fit in a partner showcase. I made a tweet about a potential Xenoblade Warriors. I was kind of hoping for a Xenoblade Warriors to show up, and that didn't happen. That's the type of game that I'm talking about. That would not happen at this point, because if it was going to happen, they probably would have just ended the direct with it, right? If there was a new Warriors game, or maybe a new game from Square Enix that they were publishing, that would have been in the partner showcase. We've seen Warriors games in the past in partner showcases. Of course, Koei Tecmo actually publishes those in Japan, so, like Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes and Age of Calamity, Nintendo doesn't even publish in Japan, which is interesting. So if we were going to get something like that, it probably would have already been announced. However, we are kind of in uncharted territory. We've never had a partner showcase in an indie world presented like that in a 2-pack in August, which means for the first time in a very long time, we will likely not be getting a traditional September Direct, or potentially even any Direct at all. I mean, even back in 2020, they still had, well, first of all, the announcement of Age of Calamity on social media, but also they had the Super Mario Bros. 35th Anniversary Direct in September. Now, I'm kind of expecting a Switch 2 reveal next month, but there's potential that September is the first year in a very, very long time with no Nintendo Direct presentations at all, which is crazy. So I will throw this idea out there. Could it still be a Pokemon game? Now, you might be thinking I'm coping here, and maybe I am, but maybe we get a Pokemon Presents in September this year. We're in a weird time for Nintendo marketing. We got a partner showcase, we got a museum direct, we got an indie world. Maybe this year the Pokemon Presents is in September, and that's where they showed Legends ZA, give that its first, gameplay trailer, maybe a release date for that, or even just a more concrete window beyond just 2025. And most importantly, maybe they announce a spinoff for November 21st. Maybe that's a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Sky remake, or a new Mystery Dungeon game altogether, or even just another spinoff entirely. That would fit the bill, I think, pretty perfectly for being a game that Nintendo would save that November 21st slot for, because once again, they've never skipped releasing a game the week before Black Friday. Even last year, they had Super Mario RPG there, and that game did really well. So you're telling me they're releasing Mario and Luigi Brothership the week before for no reason? Like, why wouldn't they put Brothership there, right? Like, does that make sense? In my opinion, if there were no game releasing on the 21st, they would have simply put Brothership there. But because they didn't, that to me is just very, very weird. And also, yes, it is definitely worth noting that when there is a Pokemon game, that slot is always reserved for the Pokemon game. I guess that wasn't true last year with Detective Pikachu, where that came out in October, but I think Nintendo and Pokemon Company kind of knew that game was a stinker. But I mean, looking back at that list I made, every year, either it's a Pokemon game, or in the very few years where there wasn't a Pokemon game released, Nintendo slotted their own game in to kind of, fill the gap. So yes, I'm not convinced it's a Pokemon game. I think that would fit the bill the best. I think that would make the most sense, but I'm not convinced, and I don't want to get myself hyped up for that. Like, I don't want to set myself up for that, even though I don't particularly like Mystery Dungeon. I'm just kind of, predicting here because I think the predictions are fun, but Pokemon, I'm not going to rule out. I think it's worth kind of humoring that idea. So if it's not a third-party game that they're publishing, like a Warriors or like a Bravely game, if it's not a Pokemon game, what else could it possibly be? And there's one final option here that I think is worth talking about, and that is a casual game. Nintendo usually announces their casual software on social media separate from Nintendo Directs. There are very few instances where they've showed their casual software in showcases like that. I think the Ring Fit DLC popped up in one, but beyond that, Ring Fit Adventure, Big Brain Academy, and Brain Training were all announced on social media, and here's the thing, they were all announced in September. All three of those games were announced on social media in September of the years they released. Now, I don't know what game makes the most sense for November 21st. However, given that history, given the history they have of announcing these casual games outside of Directs, but also very close to release during the holiday period, I think it is very possible that we see a game like that be announced and released this year. Now, Ring Fit 2 probably doesn't make sense because of Fitness Boxing releasing. I don't know if they'd want to release two fitness games back to back. And I'm not sure if a new Big Brain Academy would be ready yet, or even a new Brain Training. I guess that's possible. That's probably the most likely out of the three. But I think the idea of a piece of casual software specifically makes the most sense when trying to predict what that November 21st game is. Now, the only wrinkle in that is usually those types of games don't release in November, so maybe Pokemon does make a little bit more sense, because I think Ring Fit released in October, Big Brain released in December, and Brain Training, of course, that never got localized in America. I think that released in December as well, like late, like I think it was after Christmas in Japan, and it might have even been January in Europe. So I'm not sure exactly which type of casual software would make sense. I also think of Mario Kart Live, that was announced in the Mario Direct back in 2020, but that also released in October. So something like that I could see, and it would make sense that it wasn't any partner showcase. It would make sense that it wasn't in the June Direct, and it would make sense that they're announcing it very close to release. I know people are going to watch this video and be like, oh, it's way too late for them to announce a holiday game. That's not really true at all. In fact, if you look at Emio the Smiling Man, the Famicom Detective Club game coming out actually the day I'm posting this video, check out my other channel for a review of that. That game was announced, 6 weeks before release? That was announced in mid-July. So they could easily announce a game, even in late September, and still release it in the middle of November. So I'm going to be, mentioning this until the last minute. I am not going to shut up about the potential of another November game because I think it is so interesting. And when looking at that release calendar, I just think it's so peculiar that there is that gap in November when there has never been a gap there. I guess go into it with the expectation that they probably don't have another game releasing, but when I look at what they have announced, when I look at the track record of that week before Black Friday game, it just does not make sense to me. It does not make sense that they would put Brothership out on the 7th and not on the 21st. And just to be clear here, I'm not complaining about the lineup or anything as it is. I think the lineup this year is pretty good, especially, if you like Fitness Boxing, that's a whole nother game coming out now from Nintendo that you're going to buy. I'm excited for Echoes of Wisdom. Of course, I'm excited for Emio the Smiling Man. I'm recording this before it releases. I'm excited for Mario Party. I'm excited for Mario and Luigi, but I just feel like something is off. Something feels weird. Now, I posted a video yesterday talking about the potential of a Switch 2 reveal in September, and once again, I do think that's also very likely to happen in the third week of September, so go check out that video for my kind of explanation why I think that's coming so soon. But maybe like the first week of September they announced this new game, maybe the second week of September, maybe the final week of September. I don't think it'd be the same week as the Switch 2 reveal, but there's plenty of room for them to work when it comes to announcing whatever this game could be. But like I said, I guess don't expect it, right? I don't want to hype anybody up for a game that might not even exist, but I just look at that release calendar, I'm like, that don't feel right. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm smoking something when talking about this game that we have really no reason to believe exists other than that mysterious gap in the release calendar. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think this could be? If you are on board with my theory, what game do you think Nintendo might be saving for that November 21st lot? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Of course, subscribe here for more Nintendo Switch news, reviews, discussions, all of that fun stuff, theory, speculation, crazy conspiracies from time to time. Follow me on Twitter at BoTalksGames, and check out my other channel at It's Amiibo. I don't know if it's going to be up today or tomorrow, but I will have a Famicom Detective Club review, so definitely go check out that. But until next time, folks, peace.